tighten the top, you can see your level in there. Because he's low, there's almost nothing in there, but it's an easy way to check it in.
Good pro tip.
Are we going to do our own, or are we going to ride with it? No, I wasn't with you guys. Here's what happens. Relax. Because cars believe us. Minutes more, and then they are.
And the YouTube comments will be, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's pulling on it. Look how he's doing that." Come on, you can get it. You can get it. Do it. Ah!
Scared me. I wasn't sure.
Production before I. Everybody get in the way of that.
Same difference.
We're timing. You'll see how fast they do this.
God, I hope not. Addition to the Husky.
No,
Then you have
that's the other guy.
a different person?
Different guy.
It's been a while. That's Chris Laval.
Okay.
Maybe if he's making a shitload.
I'm terrible with names.
Even if he gets back to
This one has got air filter here.
Corrosion.
I just did mine. Mine, we have 2 intakes that are, it's like 0.10 is like the lowest, and then 0.12. So it's good, but I think the next one.
both races across the field.
Stick it in there.
Oh god, you have to pull the cams and change shims.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got a little seal to it. So you got a little like nub that sticks under the belt, so you kind of got to sneak it out.
It's easier to do it.
You'll end up flexing the belt a little bit and pick up on this side, and then sneak it out.
Master Tech.
There's just where the
It's-
belt cover mounts, you know, it sticks through here and you
Okay.
can't pull straight up because the belt's still on. If you pull the belt off, you could pull it straight up, but then we wouldn't be able to spin the motor over.
What is this? 650 engine.
It's pretty cool.
I think so.
I'm not looking for anything at this point. Just
Just see the cams go.
basically now you're going to be looking for that dot to line up with that line. So I'm one turn away.
What are we doing?
So right about there.
And these point that way, and then that way.
Yeah. So basically it's...
Where's Fabio?
This is the point where you'd be timing belts and stuff, so you got the timing tool would go on here and here. You put the screws in and then it holds the cams in place when you swap the belts. So that basically puts this one at top dead center compression where you'd be checking the valves, but I'm going to put that one at top dead center. It's a little easier for us to see.
I mean, if he's traditional, he's doing that.
076. 051. I think that's the smallest spec. 051. I'd have to look up the exact numbers. Okay. So this one's tight.
Ooh, those look loose.
Is the gap supposed to be within a certain range?
Yeah. 076.
Those are like sacky belts. Just in it.
Where would you find the specs for these nuts and bolts?
On the bolts, I just have like Ducati. Cool. Come on.
Where's the hammer when you need it?
Get the blowtorch.
I don't want a blowtorch.
Keep in mind that those things are matched to those heads. So if you do break one of them cam towers, you got to buy a whole head.
Yeah, don't break these.
Because they're perfectly
They're
machined.
machined and they're matched. You see the numbers right here?
Yeah.
Those numbers are matched to the head.
Oh,
To the specific side of the head, right?
Exactly. So these numbers that are on here are machined in there to match to this cylinder head here. So when they build these things, they line bore those things, then they hone them, and then they're matched. So they're mated. If you crack one of them caps, or if you break one of them caps, you got to buy a whole cylinder head. It ain't cheap.
yeah, don't. Just don't break stuff.
I guess you get those.
Is it machined for one piece, or do they?
So they
literally-
basically, the cylinder head basically gets machined first, and then the cam caps are cast in a different thing. But they'll put them on there, then they line bore it, and bolt them bond.
Why won't you just come off?
And they line bore them to their match.
It's like
And
this
that's why
one
they-
doesn't want
That's
to
why they
move.
put those numbers on there. So when they get a little stubborn, it's kind of like that front screw I saw you playing with guys earlier.
The radiator screw, yeah, those suck.
I know, they always suck. So anyway, stuff like this happens where stuff sometimes doesn't want to come apart.
This one's wiggling, but this one's kind of just sitting there.
If someone was doing this in their garage and they didn't know about those numbers, they'd put them together wrong,
Right.
I wouldn't even intend to.
and they'd wreck it.
Well, actually, they pretty much make stuff so you can't put it together wrong.
See it pushing oil out. It's wiggling a little bit. Just not wanting to.
The struggle is real.
Yeah. Not wanting to give up.
This is why these jobs always take longer than
Well, you see why, yeah. That
think.
one front screw is all
Yeah.
messed up. And so that's what happens. This happens all the time. You know,
Nothing's ever
people say, "Oh, it just bolts right on." Yeah, well,
Yeah.
nothing ever bolts right.
Snap on.
Yep.
Just like glue under there.
Got a lot of extra glue underneath there. So that's what happens. They get a little extra glue underneath there, and then it sticks. And they don't want to come up sometimes.
Okay. What's about it?
From the oil pump down here.
Okay.
So usually this is one of the first things to go. We don't have too many problems on Ducatis, but you do want to warm them up for a little bit and let the oil get up at the top end. It takes a little while for everything to warm up. Now notice that they're just sitting. There's no bushings, there's no bearings, there's no nothing up here. It's just right in the cylinder head.
There's no holes for like oil.
Nothing.
passage.
So the oil pressure comes up. It comes up through the middle here, and it goes through those that
There's a little, yeah,
that
something
top.
like a channel in there.
So the oil pressure comes up through the
So
middle
it goes
here,
through here.
goes through here, and then it feeds in. It feeds in and it feeds into those journals. So this is one of the first, especially the far side over here. So that's like the first thing that ever, if there's low oil pressure or you run out of oil, it's one of the first things that go. And then those cams seize, the belts rip, and then the valves crash into the head, and it's pretty ugly. If that happens.
That's when you get spare parts.
It's pretty ugly.
You get an eBay most
And then you got your oil holes right here, and then you put the little end cap in the end right there to close it off. So these things are hollow all the way through. If you had a cam out of there, that thing's hollow. It's pretty light.
Ducati used to have a bunch of different specs.
This gear is kind of heavy. On a race motor, you wouldn't have this heavy gear with you'd have one aluminum pulley without the offset in here, so it'd be a lot lighter. So the race bikes, so they've been drilling these things for a while now that make it light, and the whole thing is hollow. Yeah,
Those little holes are for the oil.
those little tiny holes are your oil. That's your oil coming out, right?
Oil comes out and lubricates those
That
journals.
lubricates your rocker arms.
Or those rockers.
Yeah. So now once the cam is out of there, these rocker arms pull up, and you can get to the opening shim, and then the closing shim's a little trickier to do because you got to push these guys down to get that closing shim. You see, there's not a lot of pressure on that closing rocker arm. I can push them by hand. So there's not a lot of pressure on these, and that's why the Ducati can get away with less frictional losses than your typical Japanese bike. They have to use really heavy springs to get those things to spring up really high. So right now, they're already complaining that the Ducati revs to 16,000 RPM. Well, that's because it runs Desmos, okay? And your pressure, you can see the pressure isn't very much. You can push those. There's not a lot of pressure there. So that motor spins real easy. When he puts that crank turning tool on there, that thing spins pretty easy.
They're already complaining?
Oh yeah, they're already complaining that
After the first race?
First race, yeah, because Batista blew everybody away with the V4. The first race out there with the V4.
That's the
so now
advantage.
they're already complaining
That's
that the Ducati revs too high.
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Exactly. Do your homework in the
Go do your
off-season.
homework and make a Desmo valve system.
Exactly.
That's
like
the
this.
advantage of Desmo.
Okay, this has been around for a long time with
Yeah.
Ducati. I mean, this is from the 50s actually, late 50s, early 60s.
That's a souvenir for you to take home.
It's
Thanks,
taken
Fabio.
It's taken a long time to perfect this, but
I do have brake rubbers if you want brake
it works pretty good.
That's normally what it is.
And you can see the top of the valve right there.
Yeah.
And then there's little half moon rings that are in there. So
Yes.
when you push this guy down and then push that down, and you can pull those rings out and you pull the closer shim out. You got to be careful though that valve. You got to make sure your piston's at top to the center.
Yeah, that piston's not at top dead center.
Yeah, so don't do that.
Don't spin it. Don't take anything out.
So
Yeah,
if you don't have it at top to the center, you pull it out and the valve drops down in there. Well, then you got to pull the whole motor apart.
You guys have to go this far to adjust the shims?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah, you
So that's why
you gotta pull
Desmo's.
cams to adjust
That's
that.
why Desmo service takes a while. Then you got to measure it, and then you got to go and get the right shim and put it back in.
It is a clinic,
and then check it.
Fabio's getting nervous. He's
It's
like,
just-
get
it's
away
very-
from my bike.
It's very simple, but it's very time consuming. If you do have to adjust it, it is time consuming. It's a very simple system once you see it, but it's time consuming. It's very tedious to actually adjust it.
That's why it's a good thing that now it's only every
Those little
18K.
pellets and
Right,
stuff
now it's
too.
good. It's
I mean,
only
Got a
18,000.
nice big oil passage
18,000
going
miles
down there.
now
It's
on the new ones, yeah.
Scary.
Don't let
Train
it
bikes.
don't
No, sorry, not anti-seize, but the lock.
lock. You don't necessarily need it.
No.
It can be very fast. You get a force of the belt, and you get a little pulley on that up the boost.
So with the right torque, you don't have to worry about bolts falling out. And
Basically, you're just
good enough for
torquing it enough to just seat the collar against this. And that's really all you're going.
Basically, run them all the way down and then stop.
and that's it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
yeah, because you got a little top hat on these things. So that top hat right there, that'll bottom out against that post right there.
Okay.
the weight is like 4.
So you run them all the way down. And then
Yeah.
just a little.
Because when I was changing this, I was a little afraid. I was like, nah, I don't want to get too tight on this thing. Cause
Yeah.
You can't get too tight.
Yeah.
It just goes all, it stops.
Yeah.
It's gonna give you some horse. And then you're,
I don't know what the planes are.
now when you, that little, this
Those are expensive.
Not on this one. No.
that goes real deep.
on your stock,
stock one it
on the
does.
stock one, this has a notch on this one pin right here on the stock. setup.
You see how it's all rounded off here. You know, versus this side, it's not too bad. From this constantly
That's looking like a
winging forward, you kind of see where it's made contact there, and it's starting to dig. So the further you run it, the more it wants to dig in. Like $300 for the plates. You know, you get the whole pack. You get steels and frictions.
We don't have any worn out clutches anymore. They're worn out. Oh, yeah. So here's your valves. They're just so the pulley opens the valves.
Okay.
And then your exhaust valves are open. And that's what the combustion chamber then looks like. So if you took that head off, it would look similar to this. This is pretty early. Now this is an old 916, so everything had to go through this little opening right here. So I didn't have the split. You don't have the this is where the split should be. But this is the old style. This is the first generation.
I don't even remember this.
So this would be probably
Dirk takes all these because he has a 916. This is the one he likes better.
So this was
he does all those. I basically
this came out in 88
before my time.
88 basically. This is
So is Desmo service more on these bikes than the other?
yeah, it's a real pain in the ass. Let me tell you.
According to Ducati.
Right.
Ducati
So
says
actually it's easier to yank the heads off.
Oh my god.
You're better off just taking the heads off to do the Desmo service on these because it's
I
very
was thinking about getting one of those ones.
it's very difficult to get to. But you can see, you can kind of see the same thing. You got the belt, you got the belts and everything right there. So there's your cylinder heads right there. Yeah. And then you got your intakes and exhaust. So it's basically the same thing. It's just this is the beginning of the 4-valve head right here. This is how it started right here.
And so then, when you quote the labor time to do Desmo service, the customer says, "Are you fucking kidding me?"